You may remember earlier on that I mentioned that there are actually different types of keywords, or at least there's ways of grouping keywords depending on how complex they are, or how many words they use, or exactly how much detail they go into. I'm going to give you 3 common examples of keywords here, but it should be more than enough to keep you going for now. First of all, we have generic keywords. In this example, I've used running shoes. If you're somebody who's looking for running shoes, the most basic and most obvious thing to type in as a keyword into Google search or any other search engine would be running shoes. This is the general search term that the majority of people would use. Now, to get a bit more complex, you might go into a further layer and look for a broad match keyword. So for example, Nike running shoes. You're being more specific, but you're still open to pretty much any pair of Nike running shoes that might be available. You then have more specific, and these are the ones that most people focus on these days, as being called long tail keywords. Now, a long tail keyword is when you're searching for something extremely specific. Now, in each of these different terms, there are variances and benefits to using each. However, one thing you should consider is that as you go each layer down, so from generic to long tail keywords, you're going to have less people searching for long tail keywords as you are for generic ones. So this actually increases the amount of competition you have. Now, if you write an article about running shoes and you have a keyword, the keyword you select, is running shoes, there are going to be thousands and thousands of other pieces of content with a main keyword as running shoes. So the chances of you being able to get to the top of Google is pretty slim. However, if you've got an article that's very specifically about a certain running shoe, like in this example, the size 10 Nike Whirlwind 2016 running shoe, and you've selected this as your chosen keyword, then the chances of being up against other competition is a lot smaller than if you just simply typed in running shoes. It also means that your audience is more targeted, because if somebody goes to the trouble of typing in size 10 Nike Whirlwind 2016 running shoe, and you've got information specifically about that, then it means that they're going to be more interested in what you have to offer. This is one of the big benefits of using long tail keywords. You really do get an audience who are interested specifically in exactly what it is you have to offer. Now I'm going to let my friend Mr. Dinosaur help to explain the difference between generic, broad match and long tail keywords. As you can see, the number of results on the left hand side against more generic to more specific results. You'll start to understand perhaps why we call it long tail keywords. The generic ones represent the first part of the dinosaur, his head to his front feet, and you'll see that there's a huge number of results, and the results that it generates are much more generic. However, as you go through broad match and down to long tail, you'll see that the search volume decreases, as well as the cost and competition to advertise. As you get to long tail, you do have lower search volume, lower cost and lower competition, which means it's more easy and more accessible for you to get to the front page of Google for the chosen keywords. I highly recommend finding long tail keywords for your articles, because although you may not have tens of thousands of visitors, the more long tail keywords you're able to rank for on the first page of Google, the more traffic overall that you're going to get. We'll discuss this in more detail a little later on.